Oh shit. How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to be making a video on how to do the brakes right here. I already did that side, so my hands are a lot gross. They were very, very dirty. I'll be showing what you need to do the job and how to do it. Okay, so here's what you're gonna need to use to do the job. Obviously, the brake rotors and pads. I mean, what'd you expect? Optional is like a bungee cord so that you can use the— oh fuck, there's a bug. Anyway, you can get a bungee cord to hold the caliper up. The gloves right there, you don't need to use the gloves. I mean, I didn't the first time for a lot of it. These are what you really need if you're doing anything related to brake fluid, because brake fluid's a bitch and it'll eat away at your skin. I know from experience. You'll need like a hammer to smash the rotor off, this to pry the little clips out. You'll need a breaker bar, a torque wrench, and like a socket. And then, oh, Loctite. Then this like a caliper pusher inner thing. I think this is the 19. You don't really need the 19. Well, I mean, you do if you want to get the wheels. This is the 17. So you need the 17 to take the caliper bolts off, 14 to loosen the caliper pins and take those out, and then the 19 if you want to take off your wheels, because the wheel lug is 19 millimeters. That's pretty much it. I have taken off the caliper, I mean the wheel already, Jesus. And I'm gonna start on this. I need these, I forgot to mention that. So that is copper anti-seize and some like brake parts lubricant, or you could just use the caliper grease that should come with your brakes, which I didn't realize mine came with it, so I got it anyway. And then brake clean, I get the 50 state formula because I don't want to have chlorinated lungs. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good investment. It's only like $1 more, so why not kill yourself? And then, yeah, the shop towels. Those are really useful here. Okay, so where we're gonna start is I am going to get behind the wheel of the car and turn it so that this part goes and tilts like this, so I can actually get to the bolts on the back of it a lot easier. Damn it! Okay, so now we have that, I'm going to get the breaker bar over here. Oh god! Don't let me do that. Am I bleeding? Is my toe bleeding? No, okay, we're good. Everything's fine. I want to say it's 14s for the first one. Correct? Yes, so the 14 millimeter is the one you have to use on the back with like the, you need the 14 for right here. And then the 17 is for this one when we get the caliper bracket off, which is this massive thing right here. Is it still in frame? Please don't fall, camera, I love you. Ow! Fuck, okay. So it is down on this side. Take that out. There's only 4 bolts you have to get out to get the brakes out, pretty much. Oh god, okay. So you should probably do the bottom one first. Or, you know, it'll just start moving on you like that. I didn't think about that, so I just held that in. It's okay though, I wouldn't worry about it. Everything's fine here. But anyway, now that that's out, you can pull this. I'm gonna set it right there for now. I need to grab the fucking bungee cable. Ugh. Now, don't get bungee cables that are like super short, like mine are, because they're not exactly useful, or you want ones that are super short, because I have ones that are longer and they're not exactly useful here. That's okay though. I'm gonna hang it up on the suspension over here. That way it's out of the way, and that the brake line's not being like completely fucked. You're gonna want to break, oh, first of all, we need to get these out of here. That's not a flathead. Damn it, okay. Yeah, you want to pry out the old brake pads. Okay. And take off the mounting brackets if yours doesn't use them. Mine came with new brackets. What the? This one had 2 on it. So whoever had the car before me, I don't know what they were doing. You take those off. Get the fuck out of my shot, bug. I'll kill you. Oh god. I can't. Ow, fuck. Apparently I can't kill it. It's invincible. Okay. And there's one down here. Jesus Christ, these are really in there. Okay. And there's one up here. And these are the brackets you need to get on to do this. Okay. And I will set those to the side, and I'll show you how I clean those in a second, along with these. I'm not gonna put these back on there. I'll show you how to clean them. I do have new pads, or new, like, and then to get this off right here, you need the 17 millimeter one. So let me grab that. Okay. And then this right here. Now I'm going to show you the two bolts that I just broke. The two ones that I just opened, that one right there, and that one right there. Here's the bracket. I'm going to try to set the light somewhere that's useful. Yeah. So right there, and then once you get those off all the way, this whole piece right here, this comes off. And I'm going to clean this off too, because I want it to be all nice and pretty. Okay, camera, stay there. You can do it. There we go. So now I take this off, put it on the ratchet. Okay, cool. So now as I was saying, this just comes out. You're gonna want to take out these two pins right here, and we're gonna put lubricant on them. God damn it. Okay, and we're gonna want to clean that. And I'm gonna clean off this side too, because there's a shit ton of brake dust on it, and brake dust is corrosive, or it eats away at shit, so you don't really want that to happen. Okay, I'm gonna move this somewhere less in the way. Okay, so here are the guide pins right here. You're gonna want to take off this like little rubber boot from both sides. Set that there. Oh, and then you're gonna want to grab some of the towels that these are currently resting on, and get as much of that grease off, because we're gonna put a whole new coat of the grease, and this is just the old dirty shit with all of the brake dust in it. You don't really want the brake dust getting into a lubricating part. It's not really ideal. And this one has a little rubber boot on it, as you can see. Let me put it back on. Yeah, right there. I know I just showed you that, and there's no real reason for knowing. They can only go on one way, so it's not like you're gonna be able to mess it up and put the one on the wrong side. Wouldn't worry about it. And then I'm gonna go grab the lubrication. And it smells disgusting. Alright, so we just put this right on there. Give it a nice old helping of lube. Don't put it on your hands, it's gross. You don't mind all those weird noises in the background, that's just a fuck ton of bugs. Yeah, it's not really ideal to have a shit ton of bugs, but I started doing this later in the day because I had to go out and get all the shit, so whoops. I'm gonna clean this off, and I'll show you how I do that too. Okay. Oh fuck. So basically what I do is I use a bucket of soapy water, just dish soap and water. I'm gonna grab this. It probably would be smart not to get any water in these, because that is where you're putting your lubricant in there. I'm still going to clean them off though, because I don't want that massive amount of brake dust on it. I will show you the water after I've done this, because it is nasty. This probably wasn't the best thing to do on a white shirt. Well, whatever, it's fine. It's significantly cleaner. I might not look it for some of the parts, but that's because it's so like embedded that I can't really do it unless I bring out like acetone, and I really don't want to have to do that because acetone smells like shit and it gets you like nauseous if you're with it for too long, unless you have a mask on, which is just a pain in the ass. So that's good enough. Yes, these right here, I'm gonna put gloves on these so they don't, or gloves on so they don't poke me as hard. Ow. I don't know how much of the last shot that the camera got, but here is the caliper bracket after I cleaned it, and here is the brake pad holder thing, and then here's the water in here. You can't really see it. Yeah, look. It is like black underneath that soap. Probably really gross. Probably shouldn't be putting my hands in it. Yeah, here's the other side of the brackets. You can see the metal now, which is ideal. So I'll set that down there, and we can get back to breaking this piece of shit off. That's my favorite part. If yours are like mine and super seized on there, at least the other side was, I am going to be putting some PV blaster back in there, in the area that it would be like connected to. And I'm gonna let that sit in there. Okay, stop focusing on the light. And I'm gonna let that sit in there so that it's easier to hit the brake off, because we have to use the hammer to smack it off. Okay, and now we get to do the super great part and try to hit the caliper off. Here's my very disgusting towel that I'm gonna put over it so that I can hit it and hopefully not make as much noise. I think that literally does it. Okay, it did something. You just have to beat it like it owes you money, or like it fucked your girlfriend. Really? Oh shit. There we go. And then you can just take off this rotor. Oh. Throw it away. Now you're gonna want to use brake parts cleaner and a wire brush to clean this off right there. Ow, fuck. Clean that off right there. Mine is all nice and clean. It doesn't look like it is, but it is. So now we can start with putting the new rotor on. Okay, here's my new rotor. It's black because it's from EBC, and they like to put like coat in, like stuff that helps it bond. But there is also still like packing grease on it, so we need to spray it off with some brake clean and wipe it down so we can get all that oil off there. God, it smells awful. Okay, so let's put the rotor on there. Bam. And I'm gonna put a bolt on, like a lug nut on here to keep it in place so that it doesn't like be a bitch. I usually like to put it on the bottom ones because those are the ones where it's like most likely to just lean outward. And now we get to put the bracket back on. Now that we have cleaned off all this stuff, we can put the greased up guide pins back in there and stick them in. No, get in. Okay. Is it recording now? Yes, okay, cool. So now, where was that bolt? We need to get this bolt right here for the back end, like caliper mount. And we need to put medium strength thread locker, just put enough so that it covers the bottoms and it'll spread it when we get it back in there. Now that I have that bolt on, these need to get torqued down to 60 foot-pounds of torque. So let's see if I can get that on there. Alright, cool. So now that this is torqued down, bring the caliper back down. So you grab this rope, you need to push the caliper back in. That's what it was. Loosen this so that it's pretty much near the top. Okay. And then you just tighten this and compress it back into the housing. First, we should probably clean the outer rim of it completely. Almost forgot about that. That's okay though, because we did. Just clean the outer rim of it with a little bit of brake parts cleaner, and yeah, just go on in at it. Because you don't want the brake dust to get back into the where the brake fluid is, because that'll just not be good, really. That's it. Alright, so you're gonna want to put these backings onto the brake pad. I put that on upside down, good. So you're gonna want to put some of the copper anti-seize in these parts right here. Here. Be careful not to get it on the rotor because that can cause brake failure, and you don't really want brake failure. You can also put a thin layer on the back of this as to prevent the brakes from like screeching, I guess. Usually something you want to avoid. Now it's time to put the brake pads in. I'm going to take these gloves off because I don't want to have to get anything on there. And you just set the pad in there as such. So now here's the last step, which is to put the caliper back on. There we go. And basically these ones up here, after you get them tightened, you're supposed to tighten them down to like 26 pound-feet of torque, which is basically just as tight as you can get it with your arms. Because I can't fit the thing back here to do it anyway. Basically now you've installed new brakes. That's it. You're set. You just gotta put the wheel back on and you are good to go. And then you have to bed the brakes too, which basically means you go at certain speeds, slam on the brakes, and then keep going up to a higher speed, slam on the brakes, etc. So that's a real fun process. Can't wait to do that. But other than that, this is all you have to do.